Hello, movie lovers. This is Does It Hold Up? I'm Adam, and this is the box office edition of this show. Every single Tuesday. Wait, today's Wednesday. A little bit different this week because Monday was a holiday, so none of the numbers came in until late Tuesday night. That's when this show is being made. So, we're a little day late, but that's okay. We're still going to talk about what were the top 10 movies over the weekend at the box office this past weekend, Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, and presidential inauguration. Did that affect numbers? We're going to find out. As always, we're going to start with the top 10 movies that were at the box office, and unfortunately, we don't have anything special at the end of the show. I'm going to say a little thing about the Oscars, but it's not going to be that big just because there was a lot going on this past week, had a lot going on in life, didn't have a chance to really do too much, but I wanted to make sure I at least got the main part of the show out for you guys. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. The top 10 movies at the box office were led by Mufasa the Lion King in its fifth week stays in first place with another $12 million. Its grand total right now is $206.3 million. Do remember this is a movie that opened up to only $30 million and a lot of people were like, failure. This movie sucks. I can't believe it didn't make any money. Oh, this is going to be a total flop. I wonder what they're all thinking now. In second place is a new movie to the list called One of Them Days. It made $11.8 million, and right now its total is actually higher than that, and we'll see that a little later in the chart. But these numbers are only through the weekend, so through the weekend its grand total was $11.8 million. Wolfman, another new movie, was in third place here with just under $11 million. Sonic the Hedgehog is in fourth place in its fifth week with another $8.6 million. Its domestic total is at $216.5 million, only about $10 million more than Mufasa the Lion King, because that one's holding much stronger than Sonic. Sonic opened up much larger, but Mufasa is slowly closing the gap. And rounding out the top 5 is Den of Thieves 2 Pantera in its second week with about $6.5 million, and it's made $26 million domestically so far. In sixth place in its eighth week is Moana 2 with just about $6 million, and that's a heck of a total for that movie, $442.7 million. In seventh place is Nosferatu in its fourth weekend with another $4.1 million, bringing its domestic total up to $89.2 million. I have a feeling that this movie will get to $100 million, especially with the Oscar nominations coming out tomorrow morning. If this gets any, it will show to renewed interest in this movie and people will flock back to the theaters to see it. In eighth place, finally moving out of the sixth place spot, is A Complete Unknown in its fourth week. It made $3.7 million for a domestic total right now of $57.5 million. Wicked is in ninth place in its ninth week with $3.6 million. Its grand total is $464.5 million. I talked about this a couple weeks ago where I thought them putting it on home video, premium video on demand, you can pay to watch it at home, was a bad idea, and I still stick by that. But it goes to show that, even though it's at home, it's still making a couple $1 million per weekend alone. That's good, but how much better could it be? I feel like I should just insert a clip from Wonder Woman 1984, that awful, terrible movie that failed at the box office, but it's good, but it could be better. And in 10th place is Baby Girl in its fourth week with another $2 million. Its grand total right now is $25.3 million. All right, we're going to move right into the next chart. This chart is a weekend-to-weekend comparison. All the weekends in 2024 compared to the same weekend here in 2025. Which one is making more money? What were the top movies? How do they compare? Just kind of breaking it down because, as I say here on the show every single week, can't know where we're going if we don't know where we have been. So let's take a look at that. This is the third weekend of the year, and in 2024, Mean Girls was in its second weekend of release, leading all of the movies to a grand total of $65.2 million here at the domestic box office. In 2025, with some strong holds by some good movies, and a few new movies hitting theaters with, decent numbers, all movies this year in 2025 had a grand total of $77.3 million. Only about $1 million drop compared to last weekend, which is a very good hold. But this is the second weekend of 3 that 2025 has made more money than 2024. So that's a really good sign for all of this going forward. Right now, in just these 3 weekends, 2025 has made about $260 million. That's a very strong start considering where we were at the same time last year. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 movies for the year 2025. This includes all money made this calendar year, regardless of when the movie was released to theaters. So if a movie released in 2024, anything it made all the way through December 31st, I don't count any of that money. I only count everything from January 1st until now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this chart. 2025 Top 10. Mufasa the Lion King is still in first place with an impressive $81.5 million made in 2025 alone. That's incredible. Sonic 3 is in second place with $67.4 million. Nosferatu in third with $42 million. Moana 2 in fourth with $40.5 million. Wicked in fifth with $32.5 million. You can see Moana 2 is outpacing Wicked in 2025, but does it have enough legs to catch up to the total that Wicked currently sits at? In sixth place is A Complete Unknown with $29.8 million. Den of Thieves 2 stays in seventh with $27.2 million. Baby Girl in eighth place with $16.1 million. And here's the 2 changes for this chart this week. One of them days jumps onto this chart in ninth place with just over $14 million. Yes, that's a different total than the one you saw in the previous charts. And that's because this is also counting Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which was on Monday. So adding in that where it made about $2.5 million, that's how you get to this $14 million. And Wolfman, also new to this list, jumps on with $12.3 million over the 4 days that it's been released so far. That means 2 movies dropped off of this chart, and they were Gladiator 2 and Homestead. That's it for charts this week, all going and looking at the domestic box office. And the only thing I really want to talk about here in the last half of this show is the Academy Awards, 2025 Academy Awards. We were supposed to get announcements for who all the nominations were in every category on January 17th. And I thought this week on the show, I would talk about those nominations and if I agreed with all of them, if there were any surprises or any snubs or anything like that. But then the LA wildfires kind of pushed everything back. So we're now not getting the nominations until January 23rd, a day after this show comes out. So I couldn't really talk about all that. And that kind of ruined the flow of this. Why I didn't have anything else planned for this week because of that change. But I'm really excited to see who's going to get nominated at the Oscars this year. Usually in years past, there's very clear frontrunners, very clear people who are going to get nominated or movies that are going to get nominated in each and every category. You can kind of just pick them out. Parasite was going to get nominated in X amount of categories. Coda was going to get nominated a few times. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. You could pick these movies and place them where you thought they were going to go, and most of the time you'd be 100% correct because it was just easy to know. This year, though, it's very interesting because a lot of the movies that are winning awards at other award shows, like the nominations for the BAFTAs just came out, the Golden Globes already happened, who won those, SAG nominations, DGA nominations, PGA nominations, they've all come out and they're all slightly different. There's not like anything that's really leading the way. And that's so interesting. I've been watching the Oscars now for 20 years. I don't really ever miss one. And I've gone back and I've watched old ones as well just to see who was winning and what was happening. And this is the first year in a very long time that I can remember being genuinely excited because I don't know what's going to happen. In fact, I don't even know who's going to get nominated. There is so many options for leading actress, for example, that we know some people are going to get left out that very easily deserve this nomination. So I'm excited to find out, along with the rest of you, on Thursday morning, who's going to end up in each category. Because as soon as they come out, I slacked last year, guys. Usually I'm up to date on all the movies that I think are going to get nominated for every Academy Award so that when the nominations come out, I can tell if I'm surprised or not. This year I'm behind. I didn't watch as many as I wanted to, so I've actually been waiting for these nominations so I can go fill in all the gaps that I missed. So I'm very excited to see what happens tomorrow morning, which will give me an opportunity to sit down and go, time to get ready, time to watch all these movies, make my picks, and as of right now, out of all the movies I have seen, out of all the shows that I listen to and all the experts that I listen to and who they're picking and what they're saying, I have no idea what's going to happen. Who's getting nominations? Who's going to win? There's momentum for this movie. Conclave was a huge favorite when it came out, but it's been slipping lately for some reason. Anora was supposed to be like a lock for so many awards, and now nobody's really talking about it all that much. It's going to be very interesting, and I'm here for it, because it's been a very long time since this has happened. So next week, I'll be talking about the nominations and seeing which ones I think were deserved and which ones weren't. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Later this week, there will also be an Oscar Redux episode where I do go back in time to redo an Oscars from the past. This next episode is going to be 2016. What did that Academy Awards look like? And do I agree with who the awards went to? Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff so you don't miss that episode when it comes out. Come back next Tuesday to see what the box office looked like and what I think about the nominations for the 2025 Academy Awards. And until then, just remember to be good to yourself, kind to others, and keep watching movies.